a gentle flow class today. Kind of focusing on things for stress. So we're going to do a chakra based one. Normally when we do this in the studio, we change the lights. We're going to try that. I don't know if it's going to relate on the video, but you can imagine that you're here with us and the lights are changing. So the imagination is a powerful tool. Use it. Have fun. So we're going to come to, oh, that's Kaylee. Random person in the back is Kaylee. She's part of our studio. She's my daughter. She teaches booty and kids, and she's going to try to follow along. She's also a teenager, so she may not follow us precisely. She may be in the back yawning. All right, so we're going to come to a comfortable seat. Remember, a comfortable seat is a comfortable seat. There's no extra points for sitting cross-legged on the ground like a yogi. There's no extra points for that. If you need to come to a chair to sit for a while, use your chair. Nobody can see you, and you're not getting bonus points. So find a seat, whatever is comfortable for you. I'm going to be here for a little while, so make sure that you're really comfortable. Start to find your breath. Maybe even close your eyes for a breath or two. I can hear you yawning. So starting to just land in your space. Or you may need to pause. Pause. Oh. Before we go in, I forgot we need blocks for this class. If you have blocks, grab your blocks. If not, then get creative. Figure out something that's about block size. It's somewhat stable, so you want to be able to put some weight on it and keep it grounded. So, land in a comfortable seat. Find your breath. Trying to soften down below your rib cage, letting your breath land a little more fully in your body. We're going to bring our awareness to the crown of our head, the very top of our head. Imagine a softness here. And from this softness, imagine beautiful violet light beginning to spill in. So imagine you're surrounded in this beautiful violet light. And it's starting to trickle in from the crown of your head. As if this beautiful violet light could slowly trickle down, touching each part of your body slowly. As if touching every cell with a little recharge, a little refresh. To connect with this concept of being open and connected. center of our brain. Let's imagining a purple light right here in the very center of our brain. Imagine it's gently sweeping and moving, a little ball of energy. As if placing a little ball of energy in the very center of our brain, gently sweep away some tension within our mind, some holding patterns, some things that are stuck, some things that are no longer needed. Imagine you could just gently sweep them away. Replacing things stuck with this soft purple ball of energy. And gently float the eyes open. Bring our hands to prayer. We're going to interlace our fingers. We're going to think about a blue ball of energy right in our throat. And imagine you have one of those like stress balls in between your hands, one of those squishy stress balls. So we're going to inhale as we open up our hands and lift our chin. Exhale as we press and squeeze our hands together. And bring the chin back to neutral. Inhale up and exhale down. So start to imagine you have that squishy ball. You're opening it up and then you're compressing it. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze your hands together. And then start to imagine the same thing happening in your throat. Inhale, open your throat. Exhale, squeeze the back of your throat as your breath goes back. Inhale, opening. And exhale, squeezing. Yellow sun right here. We're going to bring our arms up. Imagine squeezing this space. Your inhale is center, your exhale turns and twists. Inhale back through center, exhale twist. Thinking about squeezing this solar plexus area, the sun space. So Cali has her fight or flight has turned off and her digestion is starting to work. That's actually something to celebrate. It's a wonderful thing. So then bring that back, bring some shoulder circles in. And then we're going to move up to our heart space. Thinking about a little green unconditional love right in our heart. We're going to come over to tabletop. So standing up in tabletop, finding a space where your hands are comfortable and your feet are connected to the ground. You can have the front of your feet down or tuck the toes. Whatever is comfortable and works for you. We're going to move and breathe here. Your inhale is open in this tabletop position. Your exhale sends the hips backwards. Your heart towards the ground. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And if you like to add thought to help this be more of a movement meditation, the inhale as I open my heart, and the exhale as I bow to my heart. And you can start to take this movement a little more free, a little more explorative, starting to take some sways in the hips, starting to feel some stretches along the side body, whatever feels good in your body. And then land it in a child's pose. Knees can be together or apart. Arms can be active and strong on the ground or soft. Let your head find the mat. Or if that doesn't work for you, bring two hands on top of each other, two fists, and let your forehead land on fists. Still thinking of our heart, but however, thinking of the back of our heart. So the center of our chest fit on the back. Imagine that we could soften and open from this space, bringing our breath in from this space on our back, allowing some softness to slowly spread across the shoulders, across the back, and even up into the neck. And then coming on up to tabletop, we'll move down into the sacral area. So orange, right just below the navel. Find a nice tabletop, and then we're going to take barrel rolls. So big circles with the torso, barrel rolls. Squeezing, making a giant circle. And then swishing in the other direction. And then land your tabletop. Get nice and sturdy. Lift up out of the ground. So you're really pushing into the ground with your hands, pulling your muscles up out of the ground. Take your right leg back, even with the hip. We're going to take pulses. So flex the foot, leg active. Little pulses up and down with this heel. And then holding this leg up nice and strong. Take the left hand out. Breathe and balance. And you can stay here. This is challenging enough. Or take the left hand even with the left shoulder. Bring the right foot towards the right hand. Little pulses with this foot towards the shoulder, firing up the sides of your stomach. Breathe. Lower the left hand, take the foot even with the hip again. Bend the knee, little pumps of the heel up to the ceiling. And then lower the toes. Press the heel away from you. So little pulses warming up the back of the leg. Lower the right knee and take some circles with the hips. Big, soft, slow circles. We're thinking about the hips here. You can think about red, color of lava. And then land it back to center. Get nice and strong. This time left leg comes up even with the hip. Lifting up out of the ground. And then little pulses of the heel up to the ceiling. Bend the knee. Take little pulses of the heel up to the ceiling. And take the leg long, get really strong, lift up out of the ground, take the right arm up, breathe and balance. And stay here, take the right arm even with the right shoulder, bring that left heel towards the left hand, squeeze the core, and then bring that left heel towards the left hand, squeeze, pulse. Lower the right hand, take the left leg even with the hip again, lower the toes, press the heel back and forth, nice and slow. Lower the knee and take hips good circle. See if you can reverse the direction. And then we're gonna lower all the way down slowly to the stomach. Bring one hand on top of the other. Forehead down, shimmy the hips, crocodile pose, let go. Breathe. So returning to the crown of our head. Thinking about soft at the crown of our head, imagining energy spilling slowly down our spine, refreshing and recharging. And then we're going to work the back line. So, starting to fire up the glutes, maybe press the front of the feet a little more into the ground. Start to feel the legs nice and strong. We're going to bring the hands out to wherever is comfortable. We're going to think about lifting the shoulders. So squeeze everything you can find on your back. And then lift and hover the shoulders. Breathe and hold. And then we're going to take little small pulses with our breath. So inhale, lift. Exhale, lower toward the ground. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Take this as hard or as small as you need to. We're working the muscles in the back, not straining the muscles. So you may need to just take little small pulses with the hands down. You may be ready to bring the arms up and squeeze the elbows behind you. And you may be ready to even begin to lift the feet. Squeezing the glutes, squeezing the legs nice and strong. And then bring it back down to crocodile. One hand on top of the other. Forehead down. Find that point on your forehead. Placing a little purple ball of energy right here, as if it could gently recharge your mind. Sweeping away things no longer needed. And then bringing your body up to Sphinx pose. So the forearms come down, press into the ground, so pushing your hands away from you without letting your arms move. When you come up, feel like you're pulling your chest through your shoulders, trying not to get any kinks in the lower back. So you may need to come down and start again. So you're thinking about length in the spine, not trying to get a huge arch. So place your arms down. Bring your chest through your shoulders. That's the sensation, not actually trying to do it. And we're going to think about our throat here. So starting to imagine refreshing blue light right in our throat, engaged in our arms. And we are going to inhale in and hop out with our tongues out. The purpose of this is to cleanse, clear the throat. So trying to get rid of stuck things in the throat. Really press your breath firmly and loudly out 3 times, and then we return to crocodile. So taking a deep breath in. Bring it on down. Forehead down, shimmy the hips. What can you let go of? Notice any sensations that come up. And I just did that on YouTube, so you guys can do that in the privacy of your own home. Really let go, cleanse your throat. And then pressing your hands in by our shoulders, tuck the toes, activate the legs, and then the stomach. Press into the hands to come on up and send your hips back to child. And take a breath in child. We're going to look towards our hands, tuck our toes, and send our hips up, down dog. So taking down dog, however feels good for your body. Bend the knees and work through some bending and straightening of the legs. You can sway the hips left and right, whatever feels good. Just starting to connect with this pose. Connecting with your head below your heart. And bend the knees and look towards the hand. Take 1,000 tiny steps until you can get your feet up underneath your hips. You can grab a block, make the ground a little closer to you. You can hang down, let your neck hang. You can bend the knees so that you can hang a little more. Find a place where you can forward fold that is comfortable for you. And then we're going to think about our base for a little while, thinking about our hips. So taking our feet a little bit wider, probably about mat width apart. We're going to press into the ground and feel like we're pulling our feet away from each other, trying to rip the mat apart so our legs are nice and strong. Holding on to your block, maybe bending your knees deeply. So legs are nice and strong. We're going to bend the right leg. Then we're going to push into the heel and bend into the left. Push into the heel, so you want to feel the back of the legs firing up. Make this movement slow and controlled and strong. Squeeze the hips a little more, squeeze the glutes. Make this move hard, small but contained. Fire up some more muscles. Make it a little harder. And then holding your block, turn your feet out. We're going to hold on. We're going to press into our legs, fire up our legs again, hold on to the block. And we're going to take little squats, bringing the hips down and up, moving through different movement in the hips. So really pressing into the ground as we come up, firing up the hamstrings as you come up out of the ground. Start to bring the hips down a little lower. And then bring your hips all the way down to Malasana. So Malasana squat pose, take your time to get down here. If this is difficult, find a block and sit on the block. So we're thinking about opening our hips. So placing the feet down on the ground, firing up the legs, pressing into the feet, pulling up out of the ground so the legs are strong. You can bring your hands to prayer. Just think about finding your breath with your hips open. And then slowly coming forward, pressing into the ground to fire up the legs. Come on all the way up, bring up your block. We're gonna move through a little bit different movement of the hips. So just slowly bringing one heel, so right heel comes in. Feel the inside of the leg. Switch, bring the left heel in. So your hips are gonna move left and right. Strong legs as you do this. Squeezing the hips, one heel at a time in. The harder you make this, the harder you squeeze your muscles, the more work you'll have to do. So try not to just throw your body in space. Find some muscles to fire up. And then bending into the knees, take a deep inhale as we rise all the way up. Connect our prayer, bring it down to our hearts, and step it in. Find your mountain pose. So hands of prayer, heart space. Landing on our feet. We're going to start to move and breathe really simple here first. So inhaling, scooping in fresh. Connecting our prayer, bringing it down to our hearts. Thinking about green, fresh energy. Scooping it in to our hearts. Keep going. And then we'll start to make this movement a little bigger. So as we bring it down, start to squat down into a little baby chair. Inhale, come on up. We're going to make this a little more whole body. And you can stay with that. Or you can start to lift your heels, coming to the balls of your feet nice and slow and controlled. Exhale, bring it down. See if you can come down to chair without dropping the heels. Squeeze the legs really strong. Squeeze in the lower core to keep yourself balanced. Challenge yourself, find your breath. And then slowly lower the heels. And up to mountain pose with the hands of prayer. And we're going to scoop in, inhale up. Exhale, swan dive it down, touching the ground. Step right foot back, then left foot back, high plank. Find whatever high plank works for you today. Maybe your hands are a little wider. We're challenging our shoulders in all different positions. Breathe and hold. And then lower the knees, send the hips back. Child's pose. To your breath, back to your thought. And feeling strong in the hands, tuck the toes up to down dog. Inhale, lift the right leg high. Bend the knee, bring it behind the right wrist. You might need to wiggle it around. Find your blocks. We're going to set up to move here. So finding a low lunge. Weight is strong on the front leg. You're pressing into that front leg and pulling up out of the ground with your muscles. You can use the blocks to help balance you. You're going to be engaged around both hips and then take some movement. Legs are strong. Warm through the legs. Feel the legs. Back and forth. You can lift the toes on the front foot. And we don't have to only move back and forth in this one plane. You can move your knee over to the side. Open up that hip. Just as long as you're staying engaged and going very slow. Maybe you bring your knee over to the inside. Explore your own legs and your own movement. Let's sit up in your low lunge, really strong in both legs. Squeeze the hips. We're going to take a little opening of that left hip up to the side and then all the way down. Squeezing the hips, really tiny movements. Squeeze and move the left hip up and down. You're probably going to pivot on that back foot a little, pressing into the right foot, nice and strong. Legs are active and strong. This movement should be actually pretty hard, even though it's a pretty small movement. And then we're going to lower the back knee down very slowly. Left knee down, untuck the toes. Once we get here, leave the toes on the ground, the front of the foot on the ground. Feel like you're going to pull that foot towards you without letting it move. You may need to wiggle the right foot forward just to give you some more movement. Try not to let that foot move. Engage, pull it towards you. Now you should feel the front of the left hip nice and strong. You may even be able to lift this back knee a little bit up off the ground. Breathe. Maybe lift your chest, open up. Lower the back knee, slowly send the hips back towards that back knee, and lift the toes on the front leg, finding back of the right leg. And breathe. Come forward on the right leg. Tuck the toes. Engage the back leg and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Lift that back leg up. Get really long and then squeeze and lift all the way to height. Sit up, get a little stringy. Find your lunge. Find where you're comfortable. Find some feedback in the joints. And then we're going to move and breathe here. So we're thinking about the heart space. Nice open chest. So bring your arms up. Breathe in deeply. Exhale, bring your elbows open. And then we're going to move and breathe through this. Inhaling up. Exhale, open. Thinking about nice open chest. Inhale up. Exhale, open. Keep this back leg bent. You can move the back foot in to help you with your balance. You're always going to be looking for that place where you're challenged, but you're not overexerting yourself. The perfect balance between effort and ease. Breathe and hold open. Bring out the front foot. Press into the ground. Send the right foot back to meet the left. You can meet me in child or take a pause in a high plank, maybe really adjusting your hands this time. Perhaps taking them out and wide. Change your shoulder position. Challenge yourself in a different position. Breathe. And then lower the knees. Send the hips back. Child's pose. Whichever version works for you. Knees together or wide. And pressing into the hands, tuck the toes, come on up to down dog. Inhale, left leg high, bend the knee, bring it behind the left wrist, set up for a little lunge on the side. Looking at those hips and our base. Finding some movement in our legs, feeling all your own holding patterns, moving, finding some freedom in your legs and your joints. You can move the knee inside and out, and in different places to find holding patterns, find where the muscles are strong or not. And then landing on the left leg, squeezing this leg, pushing down into the ground, pulling up out of the ground. We're going to lift the right hip open and then back down towards the mat. Open and back. Nice and slow and controlled. And then slowly lower the right knee all the way to the ground and untuck the toes. You might need to wiggle around to get comfortable on the knee and get comfortable in this front leg and hip. You're gonna leave that right foot down on the ground. Feel like you're pulling it towards you, maybe even lifting up off the knee, getting strong in the front of the hip and the whole front of the leg. Pull like you're pulling that foot towards you without letting it move. Lower the knee, send the hips backwards. Feel the back of the left leg, right here. You can bring your blocks closer towards you. Go longer in the spine, play with the back of the leg. And press down into the heel of that foot and feel like you're pulling it towards you. And fire up the muscles in the back of the leg a little more. Slowly coming forward, tucking the toes on the back leg. Fire up the leg, lift the knee. Get really long in your low lunge. And then deep breath in. Rise all the way up to our high lunge. Get a little springy in your high lunge. Adjust the position a little. Feel your joints, feel your legs. Then we go back to our heart space. So setting up so that you feel strong and balanced. Inhale, reach up deeply. Exhale, draw the elbows behind you, open heart. Inhale, exhale. Opening your heart. Imagine shining or expanding from your chest. Hold it down, open, strong. And bringing out the front foot. Press your hands into the ground. Send the left foot back to meet the right. This time, either meeting me in child or dropping the knees. Bring your arms to forearms. Press your hands into the ground. Feel like you're pulling your elbows away from each other, like you're trying to rip the mat with your arms. Nice and strong, and then come to forearm plank. So breathing, holding, finding some more muscles to squeeze. Maybe you can squeeze the glutes, core. Try to take the tension out of the neck. Maybe you can come forward a little on the shoulders, change the position in the shoulders. Squeeze, hold, challenge yourself. And then lower the knee. Meet me in child's. Catch your breath and catch your thoughts. Pressing into the hands, tap the toes, coming up to down dog. Lifting the hips out of the ground. Really pulling your muscles out of the ground, squeezing your muscles tight towards the bones, finding some more muscles to fire up. And bend the knees, lift towards the hands and journey all the way up towards your hand. Find your version of a forward fold that works for you. Maybe bending the knees and letting your belly come all the way down. Let your head hang. And grabbing opposite elbows. Bend the knees, take a deep inhale, come all the way up. Connect your prayer, bring it down to your heart. I'm going to work on a balancing sequence. I'm going to turn so you can see me. We're going to get even on our feet, nice and strong in our feet. A little bend in the knees. Get strong, find your center of gravity. We're going to bring the weight into the left leg. Start to bring the right leg forward. Try not to move that left hip all the way out. And then come forward, keeping strength in the hips. Really strong in the core. We're going to bring our hands out to keep us balanced. And we're going to work this leg. So bringing it up and down. Nice and strong. And we take our right hand to our right thigh. Press our hand into the thigh and thigh into the hand. Open it up. Find the inside of the right leg. Nice and strong. Fire it up. Bring that right leg across the left. So here, bring it just above the knee. Maybe this is where we stay. Keep that leg fired up and strong, or maybe you can sit it down a little. And bring your hands to breath. Oh, I'm falling out today. Ah. Bring it down, squeezing. Breathe. Right leg is active. Flex the foot, make it stronger. Now come on up. Bring that leg with you. We're going to slide it past the left and come to warrior three. So sending that leg backwards, maybe flying the arms. Not worrying about how high the leg is, just getting strong and active and balanced. Squeeze some more muscles, get a little longer in the spine. Breathe. Bend the knee, the right leg. Bring it all the way back the way we came. And then pedal it out. Center with a few breaths. Inhaling in, catching our prayer, bringing it down to our heart. Bringing our prayer to heart, and you can interlace the fingers, or you can just cross the thumbs. We're going to take our prayer up overhead. So reaching really, really long. Pressing into the feet, locking the legs. So press the feet, make the legs really strong, and then take your prayer a little bit over to the right. Really, really, really over to the right, opening up the left, mindful of neck tension. More up and over, so we're not compromising the space between the right hip. Really opening the left. Breathe. Slowly back through center. Locked legs, so long, strong legs, pressing into the ground, lifting up out of the ground, and then over to the left. Opening up that right side body, breathe. Squeeze the legs a little more. Bring it back through center. And then bring the prayer down to your heart. Should be to let go. Find your center. Get really strong in your lower point of gravity. Weight onto the right leg. Bring the left leg forward without sending that right hip out. Breathe. Left leg's going to come up and down, warming up that leg. Using that leg, firing up that muscle. And then bring that right and left ankle across the right. Catch it, and maybe sit it down and keeping this left leg active and strong. Left hand to left thigh, press your hand into your thigh, and then open up that leg, pushing against the hand pushing against the leg, using the inner thigh. Breathe. Bring it back to center. We're going to slowly slide it past the right knee, over to warrior three, flying our hands. Breathe and hold and on. Bend the knee on the left leg, slowly bring it all the way back up to stand. And then pedal it out, let it go. Inhale up, catch your breath, bring it down to our hearts. Find mountain pose. And perhaps even close your eyes. See if you can tune inside. And find all the little micro adjustments that happen. You stand on your own 2 feet. Sometimes the hardest poses are the ones for us to be simple and still. Swan dive. Touching the ground. Left foot back, right foot back. Lower the knees, hips back. Child's pose. Relax into a child's. Catch your breath. Catch your breath. Upper body up, swing over onto the hip, and bring the feet out. Nice and slow. start to work the core a little. So bringing the feet down, getting the legs strong. So pushing your feet into the ground and then pulling them back up, finding some muscles. Bring the stomach in towards the spine. Try not to land back on that tailbone. Bring the hands behind you just to balance. So see if you can get your sternum a little more to the ceiling. Squeeze your core. And then maybe bring your legs to a lift and hover. Squeeze the core. Pull it tight, tight, tight towards the spine. And maybe this is enough, or maybe you're just going to bring your knees in and out. Small, controlled movement. Land your feet. Come on up your body. Wiggle it out. Reset. You're going to plant the left foot down. If you pull the toes up towards the shin, it's going to make it harder. You're going to activate more muscles in this leg. Bring the right leg to a hover. Lean back. Engage the core. With the chest a little more to the ceiling. Hover. We're going to turn a little so that the left shoulder is coming towards that right knee. A little twist. And then we're going to take it up and down. So elbow and shoulder coming towards that right knee. Little tiny controlled movement. Bring it down and wiggle the legs out. Head back, setting up. So left foot down, press into the ball of the foot, fire the leg up, right leg hovers. Right arm, armpit comes towards that knee, little twist, then up and down. Small, controlled movement. So knee comes towards chest, armpit goes towards knee, little, small, controlled movement. Squeezing the core. And then bring it down, wiggle it up. Take your palms, give your thighs some circles. And then come on down to your backs. We're going to make our way down to our backs. Bring your knees in, give yourself a little hug. And we're going to take our feet up towards the ceiling and just get our feet above our hearts. Point and flex the feet, wiggle the toes, whatever feels good. Take some ankle circles. And around the other way. Bring your knees in, give yourself a little hug. Happy baby. Feet like they're stepping on the ceiling. And grab your shins for the outside of your feet. Or you can take this static, or you can take little wiggles, whatever feels good. Bring your knees back in towards your chest. let your knees flop over. Left, leaving your shoulders down. So your foot is going to be in the way, and then just kind of find that position with your knee. You're opening up right side body. So you can move your knee, your leg around. Just kind of feel like where it feels nice and open from the armpit down to the hip. Shimmy with the hips. Take the left knee over the right knee towards the chest, and then find the stretch on that left. All the way back, place your left foot down, knee up. So legs, feet down, knees up. Take a little shimmy of the hip. We're going to move into rolling bridges. So finding position where your legs feel strong. So you do not have to have your feet close to your glutes. You do not have to have them really far away. There's no have to. Just make a choice about where your feet are on the ground, where you feel like you're strong. You're going to bring your shoulders to the ground, and we're going to inhale as we press into the ground with our heels, lift our hips. Exhale as we bring them back down. Inhale up and exhale down. Try not to close your chin towards your chest. Keep your chin up to the ceiling. Finding your breath. Squeezing your glutes, your legs, your stomach. And then lower the hips and take a soft shimmy of the hips and knees side to side. And then bring your knees in one more time and give yourself a little hug. Lower the feet back to the ground, knees up. And allow your head to just dead weight roll left, right on the ground. Feeling your neck. Let some tension go in your neck. Bring your hands down about a foot away from your hips. Press the palms of your hands into the ground. Start to fire up your arms and your chest. Squeeze, press into the ground really, really, really strong. Press, 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 press. Take a deep breath in and then let go suddenly with the exhale. Feel your shoulders melt into the ground. And you can stay in this position, bringing your feet a little wider, maybe letting your knees fall in towards each other. Or if you prefer, you can slide your right foot out to the right corner of your mat and the left foot out to the left corner of your mat, taking full Shavasana. Surrendering into the ground. All the work is done. And for Shavasana today, I'm going to talk you through a long, slow, full chakra meditation. So there's lots of philosophies and rules about the chakras. Everybody has a different interpretation, and it's not really necessary to figure out what's right or wrong, just whatever works for you and what you can connect with. So I like this one particular philosophy where they have the colors of the chakras, these internal points in our body where we can place our attention. They have them be the colors of the rainbow, and I think that that is a beautiful thing. So as you're laying here, starting to surrender into the ground, can you see yourself as beautiful as a shining and glowing rainbow? A living creature that is as amazing as a shining rainbow after a storm. We're going to move on to the base. So imagine you could look down on yourself from above. See your tailbone as if you could peel away all the layers and just see this energetic highway of energy. And see your tailbone. And right here, place a beautiful red flower. See it glowing, blooming, full of life, blossoming up towards the light. Become aware that this beautiful flower has roots reaching down, deep down into the dark earth, bringing up nutrients from the ground. This constant sense of opposites reaching down into the darkness, growing and blooming up into the light. This beautiful red flower at your base. And an intention for this space. I am safe and secure in this body. We don't need to leave that entirely as a big concept. Just place it here as a small concept in this moment in time, like a little building block that we can build upon. I am safe and secure in this body. And then travel just a little bit further up the spine, just underneath the navel. See a beautiful orange flower glowing and blossoming, blooming towards the light. See it pulsating with fresh life, knowing that it's firmly rooted into the darkness, pulling nutrients from the darkness so it can glow and bloom and blossom towards the light. This beautiful orange flower. And now intention for this place. I'm free to be creative. And travel a little bit further up the spine, just underneath the rib cage. And a beautiful yellow flower blossoming here. Bright yellow color of the sun. Glowing and blooming, reaching towards the light. Little further up, and then right in the center of the chest. See a beautiful green flower blossoming here. Glowing, vibrating, pulsating, fresh light. Knowing that it's deeply rooted and grounded into the darkness, drawing nutrients. Accept myself as whole and complete, precisely as I am. Travel a little bit further up and land right in front of the throat. Beautiful blue flower blossoming here, glowing, vibrating, pulsating with light, firmly rooted into the darkness. Our intention for this space, I'm free to speak my truth. Beautiful purple flower right here, glowing and blossoming, moving towards the light, firmly rooted in the darkness. My intention for this flower, to trust my intuition. Finally landing on the crown of the head, violet, glowing, beautiful flower. Reaching up and connecting. And this space is seen as our space for connecting to something greater than ourselves. The wonderful thing about yoga is that it does not require a specific religious path. Whichever path works for you is easy to place within the system, your own spirituality. So from the crown of the head, connecting to whichever higher power it is that you feel most easily connects and resonates with you. Or maybe you just see yourself reaching out and connecting to a collective energy. The energy of all of us reaching out, connecting to each other. A universal energy. Our intention for this space. I'm open. I'm connected. again. Opening up and imagining seeing yourself as this beautiful pulsating rainbow of energy, glowing, pulsating with fresh light, fresh energy, feeling recharged and refreshed. And then gently bringing some movements to the fingers and the toes. Cute. Slowly making your way over to a fetal position. Connecting with this pose, the beginning pose. Reminding ourselves of the time in the womb when all of our needs were met. We had not paused ourselves through the duality of life and judged ourselves as negative or positive, or simply a spark of life. Coming to this pose, reminding ourselves that this spark of life exists within, unchanged by our experiences. And perhaps thinking of some of those negative thought patterns or things that no longer serve us, that prevent us from connecting within to our internal self, our little spark of light, our truest self. Perhaps imagining softening some of these things and leaving them here on the mat. Especially unkind words we use towards ourselves. And taking your time, come on up to a seated position and bring your hands to prayer at heart space. Connecting with this gesture, bringing our left and right sides to meet in front of our hearts, as if accepting ourselves as whole and complete, exactly as we are. And you spend the rest of your day seeing and appreciating yourself as if you were a bright, shining rainbow. May we now love light and connection. Thank you so much for coming to play.